What is good, everybody? It is time for another Fair Shake review, and we're going to be talking about Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter. And yeah, Sabrina is definitely an artist that I've always liked ever since um, the Singular Act 1 came out. Like, I heard some of those singles, and I was just like, yo, who is this chick? Yeah, that was also somewhat close to the time that I saw her role in The Hate You Give. I was like, hey, that chick is kind of cool. And then I looked her up and I was like, oh, she does music too. And I was like, okay, yeah, she's dope. And this was definitely showing, like, when the singles were coming out for this, was showing like a slight change in her direction, slight change in her music. But I'm gonna tell you what I thought of these projects here, the songs in this project here, to see if I'm okay with that change. So Emails I Can't Send starts off with that titular track, and it's definitely an open letter to the one who cheated and broke her heart. The second track, Vicious, is a pop rock track, calling out and a manipulative ex and how he played her. Then we get to Read Your Mind, which is a more upbeat pop tune, detailing a lover, who is so hot and cold with a relationship and just kind of wanting it to stay casual. This is actually the first track that I actually added to the playlist, and quite enjoy that. Then we get Tornado Warnings, where she's kind of looking back on a bad relationship that she tries to forget, and she basically still misses him despite the pain that it brought her. You know, they're ignoring the tornado warnings. So really cool little metaphor on that one. Also enjoyed that. And then Because I Like the Boy was one of the other singles. Especially one of the singles that, like, I feel like first straight up said, hey, this is for the new album. Because some of the other singles I didn't know were gonna be like, oh yeah, this is all definitely for a project. But yeah, as I was saying, Because I Like a Boy, where is the track where Sabrina definitely tells her side of the story after the drama and the quick relationship that wasn't done with malicious intent. This is the other side of the whole Olivia Rodrigo drama here. And it's pretty well done, but it's still not quite a song that I feel like listening to over and over again. But it's not the same for the next track, Already Over, which is a tune kind of describing a relationship that was supposed to be over and done with, but they just end up getting back together. Then it gets into How Many Things, please excuse me. It's a more slow acoustic song about how differently each side views the relationship, and it seems like he's losing interest fast, while she still has him on the mind often. So she's just wondering, how many things go across your mind before you think of me, because you're on my mind constantly, and it feels like things aren't evenly, we're not equally invested in this relationship. Really like that track. Then we get Bet You Wanna, which is a more spiteful pop tune, where she basically notices an ex that wants her back now that she's moved on. Then it gets into Nonsense, which is a basically song of newfound love, and it's a contemporary pop tune, which is interesting out of like a lot of the songs that have been on here before. And also it's kind of an interesting contemporary pop tune as well, due to the fact that the guitar melody even sounds a little more country. But I love this song, and it's probably my favorite track of this project, even if it does seem almost like an outlier production wise on this project. Then we get into Fast Times, which was another single. And it's a nice pop jam, kind of detailing a relationship that kind of developed very quickly and just kind of blaming it on how fast times are nowadays. Then Skinny Dipping, another one that was released ahead of time, which is a very winding song that's kind of it's like a very winding, like lyrically. It's just kind of telling the story of kind of rebuilding a platonic relationship with an ex. The way the lyrics are like just kind of strung together, and this is very, very interesting. She's almost like straight up telling the story and not singing the story. And it's the form of it is very interesting. And I think it's ambitious to do, but it's still not something I can quite buy into yet. So I don't go to that song often. But next up is Bad for Business, where here Sabrina kind of describes how she's fallen so deeply for someone that it's starting to affect her lifestyle, and it's bad for her own personal business. Her work-life balance is out of whack due to this relationship that she's had. And lastly, Decode is the last track, where she is kind of talking about how happy she is, how she's finally gotten over this ex who kind of she's gotten over like trying to analyze how the ex behaved in the relationship, like trying to decode her feelings toward her. It's like there's nothing left to decode. I'm happy I'm not analyzing, sitting here over analyzing and overthinking about all the things that you do, and how things went in this relationship. I'm over it now. And I think it was a very fine close to this, especially since a lot of this had to deal with troubled relationships. Overall, I think it's a pretty interesting pop album that kind of leans more towards the singer-songwriter aspect of things than I've ever heard in her past work. She's like had sprinkles of it, like in like Singular Act 2. I think she has some sprinkles of that in there, but not as much as there is in this. A lot, as mentioned before, a lot of this kind of deals with the relationship that kind of got her in the drama with Olivia, even though it could be about multiple relationships that she's had. But there are some wonderfully written tunes here. It's just a lot of them are in a style that I don't necessarily gravitate towards. So I feel like, even though there are some really great songs that I feel like are definitely worth listening to, and I know that a lot of people will quite enjoy, just a lot of them are done in a style that I don't particularly feel like I need to listen to a whole bunch of times. Now, if I were to go back to listen to the full album, I would be perfectly fine with that. There's really not a lot of tracks that I would just straight up skip because they're bad. There's songs on here that I just wouldn't return to often, is more so like it. But that's just my thoughts. Well, what do you guys think? Please put it in the comment section down below. I'd appreciate reading those thoughts. Also, if you liked hearing my thoughts, you can hit the like button, and you can also subscribe for more reactions and reviews here on the channel. We also have the Patreon that I have linked in the description box if you'd like to support further. If you're watching this on the blog, don't forget you can support the leader of the Muddy Cult Madhouse by searching up Muddy Cult Miko and support her. You'll also be able to get to see ahead of time some of the other things that are going to be heading up on the blog if you follow her. So yeah, that is going to be it for today. So until next time, much love, peace.